Hi, it's Joy, and today we're going to be watching The Last of Us, Season 1, Episode 8, When We Are in Need. This is the penultimate episode, and to say I'm stressed would be an understatement. I'm also very excited because, as we all know, the show has been phenomenal. It has also made me cry a lot, so I'm anxious about that, but I am, most importantly, excited. A reminder that you can find the unedited version of this reaction, all of my reactions to The Last of Us on my Patreon, and let's go.
The tabernacle
You
of
still
God
religious after everything?
is with men, neither sorrow nor crying.
Who are these people?
Neither will there be
Like,
any
is this the
pain,
funeral for the guy that
for the former things are passed
stabbed
away.
Joel?
I sensed doubt in there.
Is he, James, the guy that played Joel in the game, like did the motion capture and the voiceover and everything? I know he's in it. I think it's this episode he's in.
Go get our guns. We're going hunting.
For deer? Or for people?
I'm gonna be right back, okay?
Oh, is she gonna go and try hunting? Oh, Ellie.
Don't!
Oof.
Drop
Ellie.
your rifles!
Trying to sound old.
Now!
Scary.
We're not asking for charity. We can trade you for some of the deer. We have. What do you need? We have boots.
Medicine?
Oh,
Like for infections.
desperate people. Let's hope we can trust them. I don't know that we can. Because they're desperate and trying to survive, and so are we.
Is this some weird cult thing?
Well, you sort of kind
A
of
little
got me
bit.
there. I am a preacher.
The whole world ended and you still believe that shit.
I actually
I'm with
started
Ellie.
reading after the world ended.
I mean,
Before that, I was a teacher.
I suppose the
Math,
only reason for
talk to kids
religion,
about your
get you
age.
through hard times.
No such thing as luck. No, I believe everything happens for a reason.
So God thought, cool, I'm gonna kill pretty much everybody in this planet. But those people can be hungry for a while. Like,
Only 3 of them came back.
Jesus. They attacked
And the one that
us.
didn't was a father.
Just gonna let her get away.
You fucking should. What is the harm? Your people attacked us. We were just trying to leave the hospital because we heard you. They're gonna follow her footsteps. Yeah. Oh. I'm very stressed that they are everything.
When the sun rises, I'll lead a group out to pick up her trail. Won't be hard to
Jesus
find in the snow.
Christ.
We'll follow it to wherever they're hiding.
Why? For what
And we'll
purpose?
bring that man to justice.
Your people attacked us. We were just trying to leave. Like, I guess they were desperate and they thought, oh, we'll kill them and take their supplies, take any food they've got, maybe they could eat the horse. Like, why do you deserve to live and they don't? And vice versa, but they attacked us. Jesus Christ, I knew I did not trust this man. I knew I did not trust this man. God, he's even going to sit at their table and make her mum get food. Can someone in this place take this man out and we can rule ourselves?
Thank you.
And he gets way more food than they do. Colt. Ellie, you're in danger. Mm-hmm. Yep.
About the girl. We bring her back with us.
Sure, she's gonna love that.
I don't mean to question your sense.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay, look at me. There are men coming, okay? I'm gonna lead them away from you. But if anybody makes it down here, you fucking kill them. You got it? Joe. Hey, motherfuckers!
Alive!
Why? Because you want another girl in your Colt?
Come on, fuckers.
This guy played Joel in the thingy. He's technically Joel hunting Ellie right now. I don't like it. Oh, Ellie. Someone's eating a horse. It's okay, Ellie. I mean, nothing is okay, but it's okay. If they split up, Joel will have more of a chance, but he's also, you know, half dead. Yeah, you're gonna have to fight. Joel got up. Mm. Joel is good at this ruthlessness. Doesn't have much of a choice. Ellie. You know, to an extent, right after everything happened, when the world has just fallen apart and everything's around, you can kind of understand getting the mentality of like kill, be killed, or gotta survive. I don't necessarily agree with it, but you can understand why people like Joel, Tommy would have ended up like that. 20 years have passed, and like, yes, you're hungry, but the people at the hospital, we were just trying to run away. They attacked us.
I can see how much you care about him, so I know it hurts. But even so,
Ellie.
you gotta face reality. What I'm offering you is a beginning.
In your
But
cult.
if you can't find a way to trust me...
Joel is fighting right now, okay? Half dead, but fighting. Joel is fighting. Oh god. They took Ellie.
Leave him alone. I don't know any girl. Jesus!
Fuck.
This right here, or I'll pop your fucking kneecap off.
You did take a girl! I mean, they're trying to protect their people, I get that, but... You kidnapped a kid. He can't let you live.
No!
I mean, I'd like to think he could, but...
No!
People came here to kill.
Why the fuck did you do that? It's okay. No. I believe him. No.
Could have killed him quicker, right? Or was that quick? I don't know. Oh, I have mixed feelings, because, like, to an extent, I get it. These people are going to keep coming after them. It's not like they're in a position to move quickly right now, like, in a real brutalistic way. I get it. But I also don't agree with killing people, and so I don't agree with either side going after killing each other. But it definitely the world they live in. This is the reality of the world they live in. These men came here to kill them. They took Ellie. Like, he doesn't know what to think. Fuck. What has she seen? Oh my god, they're eating the guy that they killed, right? The venison that they served last night. They're eating the girl's dad, right?
Let them starve? These people who put their lives in my hands?
You beat them.
Who expect me to keep them safe?
Do you
who
really
love
care
me?
about them?
Yeah, maybe.
You don't believe that.
Gave them the choice,
I don't
at
think your
least.
friend
You
would
don't
either.
trick.
He was defending himself.
Mm-hmm.
He was defending you.
Yeah, because you were attacked. You attacked us.
But you knew that. If I let you out of that cage right now, put that knife of yours in your hand, you'd stick me in a second.
Yes, because you kidnapped
have a
her
violent heart.
and tried to kill Joel.
And I should know. I've always had a violent heart.
This is very unsettling.
And I struggled with it for a long time. But then the world ended and I was shown the truth.
Jesus Christ,
Right.
yeah.
By God.
No. By cordyceps.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? It secures its future with violence if it must.
Yep. I knew this man was a lunatic.
It loves.
It doesn't. It's just a
Why are
fungus.
you telling me all of this?
Is an equal.
She's a child, sir.
A friend. Think of what we could do together.
It might get you out of this cell. Go along with it so you can run.
Imagine the life we could build.
Oh, God. I was sort of hoping she was going to just vaguely go along with it, but... Oh. This man is barely alive. But this looks promising for a resort. Oh, I don't like this. Fuck. his whole, oh, it had to come to that, we didn't have any other choice. That's the real reason they were after them and they were attacking them. If you can't find anything else, they hunt people. That's why the guy attacked Joel and Ellie. He wanted to bring them for dinner.
Shut up!
Holy shit.
Wait! Don't do it, please don't. I'm infected! I'm infected. And now so are you. Roll up my sleeve, look at it. Look at it!
Ooh.
That looks pretty fucking real to me.
Holy shit. She's fighting her way out of here. Brave, wonderful girl in the worst situation. She is so resourceful because she's had to be. It's not what she wants to be.
The doors are locked, and I have the keys.
I wonder how many
Ellie?
people this man killed before.
Ellie!
Lord.
Or are you just that fucking special?
She is actually.
No one likes... You don't know how good I am!
Fuck off.
You don't know
Good
what I
girl.
could have given you! You would just let me!
Brave, brave girl.
Well, I have news for you. So I'm gonna keep you. And I'm gonna
Jesus
teach you.
Christ. Piece of shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, God. Sweetheart. Keep fighting. Fucking hell.
The fighting is the part I like the most.
Yeah, you sick bastard.
Don't be afraid. There's no fear in love.
Jesus fucking Christ. Get him. Good. Yes. Oh, Ellie. He deserved that, okay? You survived. You were alive. You survived. He has the keys on him. Find the keys. Oh, baby. Okay, that was awful. And that was brutal, but you fought and you saved yourself. And I'm so proud of you. Oh, she needed him.
It's me.
Oh, she needs him so much.
It's okay, baby girl.
Oh, no.
I got you.
Oh my god, it's okay, baby girl. He loves us so much. Oh, that was a lot. No one's ever needed a hug more than she needed that hug right now. Okay, so that ending was a lot. I just love Joel and Ellie's relationship so much. Like, I would die for it. Okay, trying to peel back to the beginning. Ellie taking care of Joel, going out there trying to hunt, finding the men trying to take her catch and trying to hold them, like initially make them leave and then be like, okay, well, give me the medicine. She is a natural leader, but she is the opposite of what the crazy man in this episode was. You know, yeah, we're being all like, oh, you're a natural leader, you're just like me. She cares about people, and yes, as any single person, if your life is in danger or the life of someone you care about is in danger, you will fight back, you will be violent. And if you're in an apocalypse world, you're going to get a lot better at being violent and fighting than if you're in our world. She's nothing like him, and I really hope she doesn't take any of his words to heart. At the beginning of the episode, seeing how good she was at caring for Joel, how instinctive it was, and how desperate it was of how much she cares about him. Because she could have grabbed the horse and gone back to Jackson and got Tommy and been like, hey, so your brother's dead there, and then I need to go to Salt Lake City. But instead, she stayed and she cared for him, because of course she did. Then the whole show off with the man. Now, the minute you come across a group of people, especially in an apocalypse, and they're led by a man who's a preacher, you know something's not right there. God, him saying he was a teacher first as well. Oh, yeah, that man was probably saved from prison by the frickin' apocalypse. this group was too lovely and shiny to be true. And you start to see that facade fall apart from the way he tricked Ellie at the beginning, or kind of the like, he knew who she was the whole time, and then he was like, oh yeah, we knew that there was a guy and he had a girl with him. To the way when the girl was understandably like, they killed my dad, I want them dead, the world they live in, this is very much like kill or be killed. Instead of being like, we don't just kill people, sweetheart, or whatever, you know, he hit her and then sat down to eat at her table. I mean, given that he clearly likes young girls, I really, really hope that that girl had not quite been alone with him ever. The wheels started to fall off of this thing long before he was kidnapping Ellie and revealing his ugly dark side to her. Definitely, I mean, in the real world, vulnerable people do get taken in by cults. And in this case, I'm not just referring to religion. It is very rarely going to be somebody who is really happy with their life. I doubt would ever end up in a cult. It could be somebody that on the surface looks like they should be happy because they have everything they could want, but there is something missing and lacking. Like, and I also do think the same is true for finding religion. You tend to do that when you're struggling, and then you don't. Anyway, I could understand why in an apocalypse people would cling to someone that seems to have all of the answers, and I honestly think that your faith in terms of religion, when you come across tragedy, it either somehow reinforces that faith because you've been through so much horror that you have to believe that there is something worth it, or it makes you completely and utterly lose faith. And that is, I mean, I was never religious. I was raised with an agnostic and an atheist parent. But my mum likes to tease me that when I was like 6, I said to her, I know you don't believe in God, but I do, because I liked baby Jesus at school. But honestly, I can remember the time I decided that I was agnostic, that I was atheist, was I'd watched a documentary and then a reenactment TV show on Anne Frank. And I was 13, I remember this, and I think she was also 13 at one part of it. And I was thinking about the Holocaust and the concept of a loving, all-powerful God who let that happen. And then I started thinking about tsunamis and volcanoes and hurricanes and cancer and all these things. And to me, you cannot have an all-powerful, all-loving God who does that at all. And it's at the point where, like, you know, I will fight people's right to be religious as long as they're not becoming creepy cult leaders like this guy. I will defend your right to be religious, but I also believe I have the right to be aggressively not religious. But you know, I'm not going to debate someone because we're never going to agree, basically. So in this apocalypse, I would see this man and I would run a mile, or I would, if I genuinely thought it was the only way I was going to get fed, I would play along. I would be like, amen, because I didn't want to die. But I could see how in the apocalypse, basically, that got very deep. I could see how in the apocalypse, when there is nothing else, finding someone that says there's a purpose to all the suffering can help you keep going. It can help you survive day to day. And then also in general, finding somebody who is like, I'm in charge and I'm going to figure out how to feed you and it's all going to be fine, would definitely be something that I could understand following him. The people I most question are ones like James, people who knew everything that was going on, knew that they hunted people to eat as well as game, that it wasn't just, I imagine probably as psychotic as that dude was, the first time they ate a person, it was desperation, and then they were like, oh, but this is handy. It explains why they attacked Joel and Ellie in the episode we first came across them, because I was thinking, like, you know, they're being all righteous about, like, he killed us, this crazy man, because of course they're not going to tell the people, oh yeah, we did try and kill this guy and this girl to eat them, but then they fought back and killed one of us. Obviously they were going to spin it as just they were out foraging and a really mean man came. So it did make sense at the end of the episode. It was annoying me at the beginning. I was like, it's not what happened. But of course, they were never going to say what really happened. And the motives for what happened make perfect sense now. And I mean, I do not in no way, shape or form understand cannibalism in the sense of like, let's go harm people to eat them. It is a life and death scenario here, so I'm more forgiving of it. But I'm not forgiving of going out and murdering people to eat them. I'm not forgiving of them being like, well, Bob died, time to eat Bob. But you can kind of understand, like, in real world scenarios, there are people who have been forced to do that. Like, it's a survival situation, you're starving to death, your friend just died, what else are you going to do? It's horrific, no one should ever be in that situation. But you definitely, by the end, could tell that the preacher man, he was quite cool with it, the sense of power it gave him. He loved being the leader of this dude. I wouldn't be surprised if he was instrumental in bringing down the Pittsburgh thingamajig. I got very off topic here. So, but basically, you could see that there was something not right. And to begin with, I was like, is there something not right here because I don't trust creepy cult preacher men? Or is there actually something not right here? They did a very good job of just making that subtle unease that slowly built to the point where you were like... Now, at this point, the people that are left are either going to starve to death and just die, or they are going to be far better off because they're not led by a crazy person. Those who were in the know about what they were doing, it's probably also the real reason he wanted to hunt Joel down, because he was like, oh, it's probably a bit of meat there we could eat. So Ellie's desperate, fighting to save Joel, and then when she realised the men were coming back, being like, here's a knife, defend yourselves, stay awake, I'm gonna lead them away, and she did her freaking best. Something I really like about this show is that the characters aren't like superhuman. Ellie in particular, because it's very easy to kind of want to portray this like, oh, she's a strong female character, so therefore she has to like win every fight and best everybody, and that's just not realistic, and that's also like, no one would be able to do that. So I like that she fails sometimes and she does her freaking best, and she's resourceful, and she wins the fight she's in a lot of the time, but in a realistic way for a girl of her age and skill set. I really, really like how they do it. So then obviously when they took Ellie, it was freaking creepy, because like even the way he talks about wanting to bring her, it was like, realistically, yes, as a good person, if you kill the adult that is with a child, you do kind of then like, are you just going to kill the child too? Like, that's not very nice. You sort of think, if in this scenario you came across two people, a man and a girl, and the man you knew was a bad man and so you killed him, you would want to look after the girl. But it never rang true, and of course it didn't, his reasons for wanting to look after Ellie. There was always something off with it, and given the dire straits they were in, and that they were already hunting people to eat, you would be like, let's just eat this girl. Like, yeah, we could grow her, get her a bit taller, then eat her, but like, you might as well just eat her. It was just very, very, very sinister. And Joel's desperation upon waking up and realizing Ellie was gone, probably with faint memories of her saying she'll lead them away. She never came back. There is no sign of her, but there are these men with these guns, blood trails around. I don't know how realistic Joel being able to like fight and stuff is given his wound, but then I'm not a medical expert and I don't care greatly. I will just say that who knows. But I like that, again, he bested them with the element of surprise. It was being behind the guy and being able to stab him in his neck to the point where he was just dead. And then again, the element of surprise is how he was able to beat the people he beat in a fight. I think had any of them seen him coming, he would not have been able to win. So I like that he beat those fights. He won those little moments with his intelligence and his tactics and his experience. Now, the grey area of this episode is him killing the guys who were tied up. But at the same time, in the world they live in, leaving them tied up would be very cruel, because they would, if they never got free, they would just slowly starve to death or be found by a wandering infected, if there was one that no one had found yet, across the street. It would be a very slow, brutal death. Killing them is kind of kinder. At the same time, if you let them go, however much they protest, I won't hurt you, we'll just leave, they would attack you back. They were there to kill you. They would finish the job. So he didn't really have a choice. Horrible as it was, and as much as I kind of think there should always be another way, in this scenario, given that he has no idea where they've taken Ellie and what they've taken Ellie for, he was back in that place he had to be. But it's the place these people made it. Because if it had just been two groups of foragers come across each other and they're a bit wary and then you leave, none of this would have happened. But because they were actively hunting these people to eat them, they caused this whole situation. So then Ellie, waking up in that cell, not knowing what was happening to Joel, utterly terrifying. And knowing that she's smart. She can read people. She is good at reading people, and she knew from the start that this man was not everything he seemed he was. I think I would have. I mean, I say I would have. I genuinely do not know what we would do in these situations, and I also know that I would be dead long ago. Ellie is far better than me, but I almost feel like in that kind of scenario, you need to just play along with him until he opens the cell, and there is a chance for you to run. Obviously, things could have gone very bad in very many different ways. She was very true to Ellie, and she was very resourceful. She was able to use her brain as well as her skills to get out of that situation, to try and, I mean, desperately try and survive. In a way, what would have been going through her head right then? Because even if she managed to run away, if Joel's most likely dead at that point, you would be thinking either from his wound or from them finding him. And there are lots of other people there. How, even if she managed to get away, where would you go? What would you do? I can't imagine how terrified she was. Then realizing they were eating people, it brings yet another sinister aspect to all of this. Phenomenal scenes, absolutely terrifying. And the whole way through, he has this fascination with her, and I was freaking worried about what kind of a fascination it was going to be. And the whole thing about how they were alike, they're nothing alike. Maybe they both have the ability to lead people, but she genuinely cares about the people she's leading, and you don't. You just want to use them for power and protection. It makes me very worried about what this man was up to in his past, or was he unable to act on his urges and desires because the world we live in now is too monitored. And then when the apocalypse came, God knows what he did in the time before he ended up in a QZ with other people around. So that was utterly horrific. The whole sequence where they were dragging Ellie to try and cut her up and eat her, and then she managed to stall them enough to get away, and he was hunting her, and then everything, absolutely horrific, absolutely traumatic. It is one thing to fight off an infected somebody that still kind of looks human. Like, I mean, obviously they don't look very cute, but you can tell it's a human, but they've lost it, compared with fighting off. It's something so much more sinister in, you know, the episode of Supernatural that always stands out to me when I think of season 1. I mean, there's a couple of them, but it's the Benders episode where the, spoiler alert, the bad guys are people. Like, the episode of Torchwood, they had a similar thing. When you have these shows which have these supernatural or unnatural elements that are threats, the people, and they're only, and it's not even out of desperation, it's just sheer depravity and evil people. That is the scariest thing, and that is what has always scared me in this show, was hearing about the people out there and thinking, God, yep, there would be people out there. And that moment when, knowing how close Ellie was to not being able to fight him off, and when he was like, I'm not going to kill you, I'm going to teach you, utterly disgusting and chilling. I was rooting for her to grab that cleaver and kill him. Obviously, the amount of rage and desperation in her repeated slices was a lot. It hurt a lot to watch, because that is a very scared and traumatized girl. Very angry too. This man is a piece of shit who deserves to die. I mean, he deserves to rot in prison for the rest of his life. That isn't an option right now. Therefore, he deserves to die. But it's not going to do anything good for her mental state, any aspect of that situation. Hopefully, the fact that she got herself out alive and relatively unharmed, given everything, will be something, and that Joel was there. He fought his way to her. You know, it would have been easier for him to just slink off and leave, but he fought his way to her despite being half dead. I really hope that that will help her recover from this. I hope they talk about it a little bit. Like I said, I think the fact that she saved herself will be vital to her doing okay after this. As much as Joel was coming to try and save her, she didn't need him ultimately. It would have been nice if he'd got there a bit sooner and saved her from having to go through all of that, but she is strong and capable and nothing like that depraved piece of shit, because if she was like him, she would have been like, hee hee, let's lead these fools and eat people together. Absolutely chilling. People are terrifying. And the most terrifying, I mean, obviously the preacher dude was the most terrifying, but in a lot of ways, the most terrifying were the enablers around him. The James dude who was Joel, and what a betrayal of the identity of Joel. I'm pretty sure it's him. I know I read that he was going to be in this episode. I didn't read too much about like who or what, but I'm pretty sure that's who it is. The people that let this happen because it helped them survive. They knew, and the fact that at the beginning he was like, I think you're losing faith, and then James was like, no. He lost faith a long time ago, but it kept him alive to be like, yes sir, no sir with him. Utterly chilling in so many ways. This episode was phenomenal. It was also devastating. that hug between Ellie and Joel at the end, and him calling her baby girl. I'm not okay. I don't think I'm ever going to be okay. I don't think I'm ever going to recover from this. This has redefined my outlook on life, my reason for being, and I'm fucking stressed because there's another episode left in the finale. If you've watched this far in my review, I'm not actually expecting anyone to have, because I ramble for a very long time. But one thing I wanted to know, if you've watched this far, obviously hello, I can only be talking to you if you've watched this far. If you played the game, is this near the end of the game, or is season 2 going to be more of the first game, or is season 2 going to be The Last of Us Part 2? I genuinely don't know what happens in the game. All I knew about the game was a guy called Joel looks after a girl called Ellie, and that she's immune to whatever the infection is. That was all I knew about this going into it. So, is this like near the end of the game, or not? Because thinking about it, how the hell are they going to get all the way to Salt Lake City, figure out a cure for the infection in the first one? I don't think they're going to. I wonder if that could be part of this, if the first one just ends up with them just surviving, and so maybe the second one will be like her finally, because I think she's slightly older in the second one. I don't know though. Trying to get the cure thing happening, who knows? But this episode reinforced how intelligent Joel and Ellie both are, how resourceful they are, how tactically aware they are, and how much they care about each other. That baby girl, that hug, everything to me. Everything to me. Ellie needed that hug more than anything. The trauma that girl just went through, and it's Joel being right there out of nowhere to give her a hug, to call her baby girl. Absolutely everything that I could have ever wanted from the end of this episode. This episode was fantastic. I do feel like my thoughts went all over the place. Whenever I talk about religion, I am worried I'm going to offend somebody, so I always just want to reiterate that it's my opinion, my views on religion, my beliefs on religion, and that I would defend your right to have different beliefs to me. Joel and Ellie are everything. Thank you so much for watching.